Hey guys, tonight is myth number 9 of the 10 myths that men believe about weight loss. And my name is Alan Thomas. I have a program called Rethink Dieting for Men, not We Think, but Rethink Dieting for Men. It's where I help men, obese men, overcome the weight that holds them back from living the future that they are destined to live. And I always go over my story, not because I'm trying to impress anybody, because I should have never been 304 pounds. I'm only 5'11". I don't play middle linebacker and I'm not a sumo wrestler. And so, every night I talk about this, but when I reached 304 pounds in 2017, I was 55 years old. And I remember that morning I got on the scale. I stood up on that scale and I was expecting to see 299, 298, 299 and three quarters, something like that. And what I saw was 304 pounds staring back at me. And it was early in the morning. And I just literally had one of these moments. I mean, I'd been on uh, not hundreds, but dozens and dozens and dozens of diets. Nothing ever worked. I always gained the weight back. I was 30 pounds off, 20 pounds off, gained 40, gained 30, whatever it was. I was always gaining the weight back. And I never could get it under control. But it hit me on March 2nd, 2017, that I had to do something. And it was, there's no more waiting. And I publicly committed to losing 129 pounds in 260 days. And when I did that, I, really, even though I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, dietitian, or physical fitness expert, I really was able to navigate the wilderness of obesity. And it was never the diet. It just wasn't. Did I have to change what I was eating? 100%. Yeah, you can't. I mean, anybody telling you don't, I don't know how you're going to do it. So, but it wasn't a pill. It wasn't a special thing. It was a decision. And because I realized that day when I stood on those scales that my wife was likely going to call another man her husband, because I'd be dead. I knew that I'd been in the life insurance business for, over a decade, and I dealt with senior citizens, and I'd never met a man that was really over 61. At the time, I was thinking 65, but I really look back at the best of my memory, never remember meeting a man over 61 that was more than 100 pounds overweight. It's because they're not here anymore. They're gone. And so, it hit me that my kids were going to be calling somebody else dad. I was going to, but even that too, and that's a big deal. And, I married up like a lot of you guys did. And when I think about, my wife being married to another guy, it's pretty frightening. I don't think she'd run out the next day, but there'd be some sharp guy and he'd be fit. He wouldn't be fat like I was. And he'd sweep her off her feet and, she would move on and I'd be in the ground. And so it's that got me. I saw that in my head, and I also realized that this purpose that I believe God put inside of me would forever be lost. What the mind warp of the whole thing is it was related around this weight loss thing that was my biggest challenge. So go figure. But today I help men overcome the obesity. And, one of the things I talk to men every day, I've talked to, about it almost, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 today. And something, a common thing among some of these guys, and it's every day. I mean, I've talked to dozens and dozens of men, and people get on the phone with me. They're generally not fit. They have a lot of weight to lose. But one of the big myths is that I can wait. It's that I can wait. I'll do this when it's more convenient. I'll do this. I'll get this weight under control. When X is not happening or when this thing. And it's like, no, now. And why, I say that, how can I be so crass? Because that's what it was like for me, because I knew if I didn't take care of I didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, I think about this, and a lot of guys I deal with are Christian as I am. I don't tell people what to believe, but I know that when I die and when I meet Jesus, I don't want him to point out that I could have been something more. I want him to introduce me to the guy that I could have always been. And I want to look just like that guy. And so when I when I see that, there's so many things that my weight was holding me back from. It was make, the health stuff is important. You gotta be alive to do anything. But really, I mean, all the shame around obesity. I mean, I was in sales for years, and the amount of shame that I felt cost me a fortune. There's no telling how much money it cost me, not just from people looking at me and saying, I don't want to do business with a big fat guy, but also from the fact that I held back. It pulled me back, and I wouldn't be as bold maybe in that boardroom situation that I would be in as I am now, at an ideal weight. So when I think about all that, the cost of that, I think about the number of times that my kids were ashamed of me at the weight that I was. I know my daughter, she didn't tell me this, but my wife told me, that there were friends she wouldn't bring over because she was embarrassed by the fact I was so obese. And if you don't think this is happening, guys, if you got kids, you may be surprised, especially when they're in middle school, and they look at you. You may be their hero, but they also realize you're morbidly obese. I also look at it, the idea, now all my kids are very fit, but the idea that it might spill over into their life, that I might be the cause of them living a shorter life because I couldn't put the fork down. And so that was imperative. That's why there was no waiting, there was no more time. And the amount of time, the number of times that I woulda, coulda, shoulda, and wanted to try, it just was almost one incalculable number of times. So when I talk to guys that think they have more time, I mean, I hope they do. I genuinely do, because I care about these guys. Everyone I'm gonna get on the phone with, I care about. I want, but literally they're laying. It's when I was at 304 pounds, I was like the guy that was laying in the middle of the road, bleeding to death, with a gaping wound that was in these, some of these diet programs. Most of them are just band-aids trying to seal it when I needed surgery. And the surgery I needed was right here, not brain surgery. I didn't have brain surgery. But the point I'm saying is I had to rethink the whole process. I had to rethink it for me. And when I get, it's so much fun. Yesterday, I had the pleasure. One of the guys, he's done a few lives with me. He's been with me for over a year, and he's down, well over 100 pounds. And he's in the defense industry, works for a defense contractor. And he said, I got a surprise for you. I'm going to send you a video. And I get god bumps when I tell this story. But he sends me a picture yesterday of him in this perch on top of I don't know if it was a battleship, I believe it was. And before, there's a harness that you couldn't get in if you're over 300 pounds. And he was well over 300 pounds. And he's down to 222, still losing weight. And he's living that life. He's running 10Ks now. I don't even like to run, but he's running 10Ks. He's encouraging me. I mean, he decided that the time was now, and he took action. And he was willing to do whatever it took to get the job done. And that's what's so much fun, watching that. And when I think about, people who tell me, I can't lose weight because, and there's I'm on there with, have a client who's an international airline pilot, and he's eating and figuring out a way to make it work, eating in airports. I mean, when it used to be, when I would travel, that was like, translation was eat anything you want all day long and nobody will be bothered by it. Okay, this guy is overcoming that. He's dropping his weight, moving into the best version of himself. And then I think about people who say, "Well, I can't stick to anything because, I'm stuck at home. I'm homebound. I've got this thing that won't allow me to go out, and I've got kids, and these kids are, we have to have junk food for them, so I can't stick to anything." And then I think about Matt, who's down 95 pounds. He's 5'6", and he's a giant, but he's down 5'6", a giant in height to me because of the way he stepped into his dream. And he's lost 95 pounds at 5'6". He's down to 180 pounds, or I think he's 182 this morning. But he's gotten control, and he did it while homeschooling his kids at home. He's a stay-at-home dad who helps other dads, learn how to be a stay-at-home dad. And he's got little toddlers running around that are eating all the kid food, and he's figuring out a way to make it win. He decided the time was now. So that myth that I can wait, I think about a neighbor of mine who passed that I didn't tell about my program really. And he passed from a heart attack. And I don't know if he was, if what I had would, if it would have mattered that he lost weight, but I believe it was, he was obese. And so I didn't, reach out to him. And that always will haunt me. So I'm saying this to you guys, if you're listening to me, that you might not have tomorrow. You don't know. I mean, you might be 50, you might be 40, you might be 30, you might be dead tomorrow. And I'm saying that with all the kindness and caring that I can muster, because this deal about weight is a big deal. And I want you to think about this. If you're a believer and you think of what more insidious way to take out men, to take out their purpose, to take out their leadership in the home, to take out all these things. And I'm not preaching to you, but I'm just saying, with something as benign as diet, something as benign as eating too much, what could be so bad about that? That's not like being a drunk. That's not like, well, maybe it isn't, maybe it is. Gluttony and drunkard, same verse. So, you look it up. I'm not going to preach to you, because if I preach, I will take an offering. So, but what I say to you guys is, you might not have tomorrow. And I'm not trying to be dramatic. I was going to make this myth number 10, but this hit me today, really yesterday and today, that it really needed to be, I need to speak about this. And, I'm not, listen, you don't have to listen to me. I'm just a guy who lost 304 pounds and went down to 175 pounds. And 3 years later, I'm here helping men, reach their goals with that. Their incomes are going up. Sure. That's a big deal. They're not ashamed of the way they look. They go to the beach, take their shirt off. They're able to react differently and live a different life. But the cool part is they get a chance. They get a chance at another day. Now, you're not promised tomorrow. You get hit by a truck tomorrow, thin or fat, and you're gone. But really, up here that you're taking years off your life. You got to get it in here. You got to get in here. So, guys, if anything I've said has made any sense, and you want to have an honest conversation about what you struggle with, it's non-judgmental conversation, but it's one that I have a lot with guys. Reach out to me at transformmyfuture.com/apply and book a breakthrough session. You can also go and watch my masterclass I did, replay of it. It's rethinkdieting.com. It's rethinkdieting.com, DIETING. I've got the Southern drawl, so if you don't speak Southern, you might not get it. I sound normal to myself. Everybody else sounds different, but I know I'm from the South. So, do that. Get some help. If you want a mentor to walk alongside of you, it is possible. It's possible. Is it magical? Do I have a magical system? No. Do I know the freaking way how to get the weight off? Yes, I do. Is it simple? Yes. Is it easy? No. Are guys doing it every day? Yep, sure are. So, listen, reach out to me if I can help. Go to rethinkdieting.com, check us out. Watch some of my videos. You can go to my YouTube channel at rethinkdieting.com, where all these videos are my wonderful VA puts them over there for you to watch again. And guys, listen, if not now, when? If not now, when? Really? Haven't you gone long enough? I mean, is it your day that you're staring at the scale and you're ready to be defiantly committed to reach your dream? If it is, reach out to me, transformmyfuture.com/apply. And we'll look forward to speaking to you. And we'll be doing myth number 10 next. So guys, be blessed. Have a great day and take care.